Friends. Anyway, we're live here coming at you tonight from Insight Gaming and PSISTM COMMUNITY, and the first match of the night is going to be our Diamonds. The starting map for tonight is going to be Interloper. And we will fire this up, and I'll be right back with the commentary as soon as this game is go. Let me check and make sure both our players are ready. Alright guys, welcome then to the first game here of Insight Gaming versus PSISTM COMMUNITY. Spawning into the bottom right hand corner of Interloper is indeed the Red Terran Pieces from System. It is PSISTM COMMUNITY. Spawning into the top left hand corner, making his debut in the Nydus League matchup, is the Blue Zerg Pieces of GeoGamer. Trying to send something here real quick. Alright, so anyway, both players look like they're opening up pretty standard so far. We have a hatch pool, or hatch gas pool coming down for our Zerg player here. This is going to come on up in here, take a look around, make sure there's nothing too cheeky and fishy going on this map. So far on the other side of the map, looks like he is going to open up for that Reaper opening. I'm going to go to that Reaper expand build by the looks of it so far. SCV just going to make his way around, good to see the pool, good to see the gas. Not much else going on. Make sure there's no third up here in the corner. After that, he's probably just going to patrol and try to block that third if it goes down right away. Looking to see how Geo is actually going to open up this game. Orbital Command Center is on the way, and Reaper is being built right now. Guys, any problems with the stream, please let me know. I'm actually going to turn the music down a little. Ice cream is melting. Rip. Command Center on the way for System. As we are going to see that Reaper expand play. But we're going to float on in here and see that there is a Command Center. He's going to see the Reaper on the way across the map. SCV still blocking the third base. 6 Lings in production, 2 Queens on the way. Speed is about half. We're just starting up. Not going to have speed right away. Zerglings here are going to try and get this round on this Reaper as the Reaper is just migrating away. 2 Zerglings going to come up from behind. I think he might get one of these Zerglings for his trouble so far. There's one down. Reaper just going to micro back once again. Try and shave off these Lings. Oh, while he's microing here at home, he doesn't look like he's going to do much at home. He's got a factory down Starting up that reactor. Getting right into that. Looks like you're going to have Hellion production behind this. Starport on the way as well. As the second barracks is going to start up. So we might see that Marine drop follow up here. But the two Hellions come out, going to join up with Hellion on the other side, or Reaper on the other side of the map. I need a right here. There we go. He didn't wind up losing the... Yeah, it looks like they've each lost one unit. Geo going to expand into that third base. SCV here blocking it out. Third base is now going to go down here. Got 5 lings out on the map. Not doing much, just being pretty passive. Roach one on the way. Looks like he's going to that +1 attack for his roaches. No layer on the way just yet. He has thrown down his third gas. He hasn't taken his second gas into natural. 4 Hellions on the way across the map, however. Going to come over here and put pressure on this third base. 5 lings are not going to be able to take away at least one of these Hellions. You didn't really need to back up at all. These lings are going to get cleaned up. Hellions are going to start. Looks like they're going to make their way to the natural. 2 queens here should be able to push this away. 6 roaches will pop out. He's going to come over here and start pressuring this third with the Hellions. Going to get some damage done on it, but it won't get to cancel, I'm quite sure. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there is a bunker down here. A Raven on the way as well. Very interesting choice to see the Raven coming out here, actually. Look, we're actually going to see more of that macro style play from Terra. Looks like he's going to go more mech. I'm seeing. These 2 barracks on the other hand say otherwise. There's a handful of roaches here trying to push away these Hellions. I was going to once again get to work on this third. Roaches are going to come out here and try to clean up as many of these as you can. Not getting that click on that weakened Hellion just yet. We have a tank behind this. It looks like he is going to go into some Marine Marauder medevac follow-up. Traditional Terran style. He is getting some tanks out as he does see the roaches. Roaches will have to do something magic to get on top of these tanks as +1 attack is on the way with Lair. So he's going to come down here and just park out here on the map for now. Both players are starting to get into more of that macro play. Third base is down, going to be saturated rather quickly here for our Zerg player. Not look like he's going to make any kind of push just yet. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, there are a couple of medevacs on the way. Got a handful of Marines here. The first tank is out. Second one is on the way. Kind of interesting that he doesn't have anything on this tech lab, actually. Been like that for a while, actually. No fourth base just yet. There is a drop in the back with the Raven here. Look like he lost too many units. 7 units killed so far. Couple drones. 5 lings. Ravens is going to hang out back here as these roaches should just be able to clean up the next turret that comes down. Hellion is going to make their way around to the front. It's going to be just chill out here as he's going to take his 4th to the top. A very good place to take this 4th because there's no vision up here just yet. He knows it's not down here in the south though, which is going to make it very interesting to see how our system player will deal with this. This Terran. Going to get in here, get on top of this queen. He might get this queen. Wouldn't have hesitated there. He would have got this queen actually, but he's going to lose a couple Hellions for his trouble. He got the creep timber, so stopping that creep spread just now. Drop coming in here to the north, however. Should get spotted very well. This is one of the weaknesses of Geo. He's actually very timid when it comes to drop plays. Isn't reacting to it just yet. Finally pulling these roaches back. 3 Hellions is going to make their way in from the south here as he's going to take the roaches in and try to clean up this drop in the north. Tank is going to siege up. He needs to get on top of this tank before it gets too much damage done. He's going to pick up. He is going to lose the tank, but he's just going to drop down here into the third base. Roaches need to... He's losing a lot of drones. There's 2 drones down so far. 3, 4, and climbing slowly. Roaches are finally come down here to push away this drop. As he loses 6 drones for his trouble, the Hellions are going to make their way to the south, but he's just going to pick this drop up. Going to pick off the Overlord on his way out. The Hellions in the south will get cleaned up. The drop is going to make his way back into the north, but there are some roaches here to deal with this. He's just going to make his way on up towards this 4th base here. He's going to drop it to the 4th, start harassing the 4th base. Roaches are going to come up, try to push this away. Shouldn't get too much damage done here. He might get this Overlord for his trouble. It looks like he's just going to pick up and leave after he loses a few more Marines. He really needs to get some Lings in with this composition. You know, some Speedlings here would just be able to help deal with these drops a lot better. Be able to meet drops. He's got some mutas out. Looks like he's getting mutas to deal with these drops. How many mutas does he have so far? 5 mutas? Push coming up from the south for the 4th base. He should clean up this hatchery very well, as it does look like he's going to try and rally over here for his army to clean this up. 4 drones have gone down so far. The drop in the main has been cleaned up. Dan goes down to see exactly where this army is at, as he will lose the 4th base. And he's going to top of this army rather quickly here. There's a small army here, but it looks like he will be reinforcing this with what he can. I think there's just too much Zerg here right now. Too much Zerg. Defender's advantage is in favor of Zerg player, in favor of Geo. The Liberator, on the other hand, however, says otherwise, as the Link's finally going to join into this army. Rallying army. He's just going to rally what he can up to meet with this army. Looks like he's just going to keep bringing it. If Geo can jump on top of this army before another tank gets here, he'll be in a great position to deal with this. Upgrades are slightly in favor of Geo. As 3 SCVs have died in the south from a flyby and some Mutalisks. I think he's going to get a tank for his trouble. Another great pickoff there. On the other side of the map, however, he looks like he is trying to draw what he can. He loses a tank. He lost 1 tank in the north by the looks of it. I think he's just too entrenched here. He is going to expand to the south, however. Mulas are going to be parked down here. I feel he needs some Mulas up here to deal with this Liberator. Then he could probably push right on top of his army, but I think there's just these 2 tanks and Liberator here. He's just going to be able to contain him very well here at this 3rd. As he's rallying more Mulas into the south. Not getting too much more damage done. He does pick off another SCV for his trouble. There's just not much else going on in the south. Looks like he's going to push forward. Trying to get some vision. He is going to be able to pick off this extractor. I think he's finally going to march in on top of here. Tanks are going to just start chewing into these roaches. As he really does realize he can't really push into this without any kind of Ravagers or anything like that to rain down this Liberator. These tank positionings are actually very crucial right now because these Mutalisks can get on top of these tanks, but the Marines are here to push these away. No Liberator will join in with this army. As it looks like he will start pushing forward and sieging up further and further into this 3rd base of Geo. Geo is just going to go for it. He's just going to push right into this army. He's going to get 1 tank. He's going to get the 2nd tank as the Mutalisks have rejoined this army. And he should be able to clean all this up very easily now. If he could just pick off these medevacs, pick off the Marines. There he goes. Bring up the rest of his army now, and he will push this away finally. But at what cost? That is a real question, as he will be able to clean up the rest of these Marines. These 2 medevacs will make it out. Where does he go with this is the next question, as we will see a 5th base going down in the very southern part of this map. Pretty far away from his current, now 4th base. It'll make it very difficult to defend that base. As his Liberator will come on up in here, and he looks like he's going to siege up in the main and try and pick off as many drones as he can. Question is he paying attention to the Liberator? The Mutas are on the other side of the map. Looks like they're going to come in here. There are missile turrets here now at the 3rd base of our Terran player. He's just going to fly in towards the main. Mutas are going to clump. Not the greatest way to take any damage here from these Mutas from that missile turret. The Mutas are just going to be trapped at this rate. He's going to get what he can with these Mutas before they all die. He's going to build 2 more turrets down here in the south. He finds his way out and makes his way towards the natural. Another missile turret here, however. Picks off another SCV, but he is losing Mutas. He lost a couple of Mutas in that little skirmish. As on the south, he does get to cancel on the 4th base for the Terran, as his 5th base is up. It is mining. It's not fully saturated just yet. I'm really starting to like Geo's position. Burrow is on the way with Hive, which is going to make it very easy for him to get on top of this. It's just Liberator is just sitting here. Not getting much done anywhere. Does he see the Hive? Do you know about the Hive? He does know the Hive is on the way now. In the south, however, he did try to chase down these Mutalisks. which we'll get away. This army just keeps growing bigger and bigger for Geo as the game goes on. And as the push comes in down here in the south, he should respond to this and be able to take out this army as well. He's responding pretty late. This hatchery will fall. But he should be able to trap this army before it gets out. And if he picks up, everything will just die. He's keeping the mutas back, waiting for that load up, and he's going to jump all on top of these medevacs as soon as he can. Finally, he's going to be able to get what he was looking for. One medevac full of Marines goes down. As the missile turrets and the tanks are in position here to try and push this away. He's going to jump right on top of this tank. He's going to be able to take it out real quick. The missile turret is going to finish. He's going to pick up another tank for his trouble though. And he's basically going to fly out on the other side of the map. Pick up some more SCVs for his trouble. And Geo is looking like he might be in a very good position here to start taking this game. Don't want to call it just yet, as there is a lot of Terran army left here and these missile turrets in place. Geo's just going to keep pushing forward. However, this tank hasn't besieged up just yet. Needle is going to jump on top of this tank as he continues to push forward. SCVs are pulling off the line. Missile turret needs to be finished up here, so these mutas can keep going. He just pick off another medevac for his trouble. Command center is going to be lifted. The orbital is going to try and float away as these mutas are going to start jumping on top of this orbital command center. There's a tank on the high ground, however, and there's some Marines here to help push this away. But is there enough Terran is the final question we need to ask, as one tank is going to fall. The second tank will fall, and that might actually be it, as he's going to make his way into this bunker. Trying to focus down the last tank here for this Terran army, as SCVs are going to get pulled to repair these bunkers. As at this point, he can just rally across the map, as we do see that blue line of roaches making their way across the map. Liberator comes home here to try and deal with this. The Liberator is still sitting back in the main of our Zerg player. It looks like Geo will take game number 1. There it is. Alright guys, as we load into the next game, we'll wait on our next player from PSISTM Gaming or Community. And I will be right back with you as soon as we get our next player in. Welcome back once again, folks. Next map is going to be Carnivore. It's spawning into the top left-hand corner. Coming off game 1. Nice win from his part for the Insight Gaming. Is the blue Zerg pieces of Geo Gamer. Geo Gamer. Anyway, his name's Geo in my book. And then spawning down in the bottom right-hand corner is the red Terran pieces, looking to bring it back and tie the series up at 1 apiece. Is the red Terran pieces of Drunken Furies. Looks like we're also going to be seeing a very similar opening from Drunken. As he will have the depot with the gas in there. It should be a barracks fall up real quick here. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Geo looks like he's going to go for his hatchery first. Outside, that's not much else really going to be going on here. I guess some Overlords making their way across the map here to get across the map and see exactly what is going on. SCV looks like he's going to make his way across the map as well to start scouting when he can. I never noticed these rocks here. What do these rocks even do? Oh, they probably blocked that off. Okay. Positioning of this barracks, however, says he will be throwing down a reactor or a tech lab here. Going to be interesting to see which way he follows up. It looks like he is going to go and expand immediately after this with that SCV. SCV on the other side of the map. Steve is going to make his way in here and see exactly what he can see. As he looks like he is just going to go everywhere. There is a hatch gas pool going on. Very similar opening as before. Other than that, not much else really going down as the command center has started up. Reaper is on the way and the Overlord is on the way as well. You see a factory shortly after. There it is. It looks like these Hellions will be coming out a lot faster than before. Unless he goes more mech style and goes for the Cyclones, we will find out. Reaper is going to make his way on across the map now to see exactly what he can find, see what he can get done. SUV just chilling out here in the main. Looks like these things are going to get to work and make sure Steve doesn't get on home to start mining again. So far, very similar opening in the last game. Nothing too crazy has changed up. We will see the Hellions coming out with this Reaper behind it. Zerglings here are in position to try and make sure this Reaper cannot get up into the main at all. Surprised he hasn't just jumped up there and tried to pull these Zerglings the other way. There are Queens out, however, to deal with this. Speed is about halfway done. On the other side of the map, a starport is on the way, as we will see an exactly similar game. Exact same build as before. But the question is, will Geo be able to see this and see exactly what he's up against? As this Reaper isn't really looking like he's going to be able to get too much done. Queens are out, the Zerglings are out. Shouldn't be able to get anywhere just yet. Third base will be coming down here for Geo, as these Zerglings are going to chase his Reaper over into the third base. As he's trying to micro his heart out. He does not get the hatch block, as his Zerglings are just going to continue chasing him around the map. He'll go to start pushing up that creep timber when and where he can. As two Hellions are joining into the army. Rather curious as to see which way he is going to go here. Roach Warren is on the way. So he should have a way to deflect these Hellions very quickly. I think he's a little bit later than what he usually is. But this time, however, instead of the Raven, we will see a Banshee with Cloak. Geo is going to scout that and realize that there is a tech lab on that starport. But the question is, does he follow up with any spores? Does he think it's going to be another Raven? After the first game, it might be a Raven in his book, to be fair. As long as we look into the middle map, 4 Hellions and this Reaper are going to make their way across the map. This time the Reaper is alive to help deal with this and help with this push. Last time it was just 5 Hellions. Evo Chamber going to come down here. It looks like we're going to have some Lings rallied up together real quick here. No Roaches just yet to help deal with this. Third base is going to finish up. Going to be about 75% health. As they're just going to keep poking away at this third base. He's going to rally up as many of these Lings as he can. Going to get a decent surround of these Hellions, as he's going to get 2 Hellions for his trouble and a Reaper. Might get a third Hellion, as another Hellion just joined the mix. He's picking off a lot of Hellions, actually. This is actually very good. The Banshee is here to push these away. But does he know? There's no reaction just yet. There's no Spore Crawlers anywhere. +1 range is on the way, and he's just sticking to his guns and going into that same Roach build as before. Armory is on the way on the other side of the map, however. 2 more Hellions will join this mix. This is more of a Hellion Banshee push. The Fire Bats are here to deal with this. His third base should end up falling, unless he can knock this down real quick. The Banshee here, however, should help deal with a lot of this army real fast, but he will clean it up. Very nicely done by Geo. But again, there's nothing here to knock this down. There's no spores anywhere, and he doesn't have any Ravagers or anything to knock this down with. The Queens aren't even over here knocking down his Banshee. Like, it's actually kind of startling that he's just bleeding out Roaches with his Banshee. The Queen finally here is going to be able to start knocking this down. He is just going to cloak and float on away. Just, again, no spores anywhere. One spore is finally going down in the natural. The second one is in the main. But he should end up losing this third to Cloak Banshees, which is actually very depressing. Banshee is going to win it. He is actually behind 6 workers, but his army supply is heavily in his favor. But his Terran is going to quickly take his third base. You should see this lift off here very quickly. After the orbital, I assume, the third base will end up falling. This Banshee is going to be able to keep working on these Roaches. You can see Geo's face right now in your mind just going, I really just lost his hatchery to a Banshee. He's just no vision. He has no Ravagers to knock it down. He had no way of detecting that. He's going to take his third base to the south this time, however. And as he just sits back, the longer he sits back, the worse this is going to get. He is going to go into that bio play, however. He's not going mech, which is probably one of the biggest saving graces for Geo right now. Combat Shield is about to finish up, with Stem already done. 1-1 is going to start up. He actually started up building armor. There is structure armor. As Geo's just going to try and get his army together here. He's throwing up where and where he can. He is going to take a 4th base. Trying to jump ahead and get ahead in that base count. Because one of the things you can't do when you fall behind a base is to throw down 2 expos and try and jump ahead in your base count. Very greedy thing to do, as there is a drop on the way. Got a couple Hellbats coming across the map here. Looks like they are going to make their way into the main base of Geo. There's a couple Queens here and a Spore Crawler to help knock this down. As it's just, his army supply is going to... He's actually really far behind on workers right now. It's 55 to 44 workers. As this drop is going to make his way in through the north. He should see this drop coming in. He should see that and should be able to catch that if he's paying attention. Third base for Terran has been taken. As Terran is just going to get into that macro play, he's just going to try and get the biggest, baddest army he can real quick. He does have the Roaches coming in here to deflect this. Very good heads-up play by Geo. As his medevac is just looking for somewhere to drop. He scans. He's going to see that third base is up. Looks like he's going to try and bring it down here into the third base. I guess he doesn't know about the 4th in the south just yet. He does not know about the 4th. Okay. But there's a big Terran push about to come out here with 1-1 with +1 ground weapons for his tanks as well. As he's just throwing down more tanks, or more barracks, more factories, everywhere he can. Looks like he's ready to start marching out across the map. But is there enough here for Geo to deal with this? As he does have +2 attack and +2 Carapace on the way. Is Spire done? Did he finish the Spire? I don't think he got Spire just yet. Looks like he's skipping right in the hive. There is a lot of Zerg here, but these tanks are going to get sieged up, and they're good to get to work on these Roaches. First salvo knocking down a good chunk of them. As he is finally going to get these Ravagers, but he needed these a long time ago. He needed these with this army, as he's just going to be able to push forward, and these Ravagers are still morphing. Ravagers are going to finish up. Corrosive Bile not being used just yet. The tanks are going to siege up. He's finally landing Corrosive Biles. Doesn't get anything out. He should have dropped it on the tanks, but it's alright. It's alright. He's got this. He's going to push right back in here. Trying to shave off some more of this bio. Tanks are unsieged. He does see that these tanks are just sieged up again on this third base. However, he is mining into 4th, so losing this base isn't too crazy just yet. However, there is more army rallying across the map with the Mutas in the mix. Mutas are looking like they're trying to get on top of the tanks here. Marines are going to push them away, however. Tanks have unsieged and will be leaving. getting what he needed done. Terrace is going to back off. He doesn't know about the third base in the south. That's a big thing. Why didn't he just get a Spore is a real question. Losing this hatchery to a Banshee like that is actually very depressing. But, however, it looks like he is going to try and get out on the map. These mutas, a couple mutas going to get caught across the map. He's losing 3 mutas already. His 4th are going to make their way across the map here and try and find what they can. There is missile turrets already here, though, however, so he shouldn't get too much out of this, as he is going to make his way up to the 4th base of the Terran player. He's retaken his 3rd yet again. Or 4th base at this point. But the question is, what is next? He's getting Barrow yet again. We didn't see it used much last game. He's getting the glands for his infestors, but it will have the energy when they spawn. He toss out that fungal and make sure he can just do, like, rain corrosive all over this army. The medevac count, I don't think is going to be quite there just yet to deal with any infestors. But as we push in here, the tanks are going to siege up once again. Going to have to back off once more again to get out of this tank range. The tanks are going to unsiege and move forward. But I think there's just too much Terran here, as his 3rd base will end up falling yet again. Corrosive Bile's not landing too much of anything. Scans is going to keep cleaning up these creep tumors, and he's going to keep pushing forward as this Mutalisk is going to get rallied out. Overlords are going to start dropping here, and Geo, I think, is just falling apart. Realizing that his army just wasn't ready, and he lost that 3rd base. That Banshee really, I think, just screwed him up overall. Tanks are in place here. He's rallying units into the fire, these tanks. And he should tap out any second now. And we call GG. There it is. Congrats to Junkie Furies on game number 2 going his way. And we'll be right back with game number 3 as we get our next player lined up. Alright guys, welcome back once again to the next matchup in the Insight Gaming vs PSISTM community. Next map is Boma, or Booma. Very weird name to pronounce either way. Anyway, spawning into the bottom right hand corner, looking to make this series 2-1 in favor of Insight Gaming, is the blue Zerg pieces of Economy. The other side of the map, spawning into the top left hand corner of Booma, is the red Terran pieces looking to also take the lead in the series 2-1. Is the red Terran pieces of Drunken Furies from the PSISTM community. Anyways, both players are going to probably be playing some very similar styles. There's actually a drone already across the map. Not sure if this is meant to scout or if it's meant to come over here and try and poke down this barracks. Looks like it is exactly what it was for. This SUV is also going to make its way across the map. He might actually be coming up here to try and get rid of this SCP building this barracks. Exactly what he's coming to do. Always very annoying to have to deal with. As the ring around Rosie game begins, he's trying to just shave off this SCV and get it where he can. Trying to delay his barracks as much as possible. He realizes he's not going to be able to get it, he's just going to leave. SCV going to come in here and realize that it's just pull first actually? Oh, this actually is pull first. Now the real question begins. Okay, he's expoing back. Alright. Pull first. Against the Terran. That's fair. SV is going to head on into the back here as well and expand into the Pocket Expo. Booma is a very interesting map as it does have a reminiscent feel of the old map Dusk Towers, which had a Pocket Expo. As the command center is on the way, the orbital is on the way on the other side of the map. Queen is about to pop out. Reaper is on the way, however, for Terran. The SCV is just going to make his way back home. Get back to mining back here, back home. Reaper about to pop out. The question is, what is next? The second barracks is next. So changing up his build order a bit here and not going for that fast factory. Like we might actually be just seeing a standard 16 Marine drop with Stim. This TVZ. So far, all the matchups tonight have been TVZs. Reaper going to make his way on over to the main base here. No third base down just yet. There are 4 Lings here to push away this Reaper. Queen is in place to also push away this Reaper. This Reaper is not getting to get much done at this rate. Speed is about halfway done. His 2 Queens are on the way. I don't even know what this build actually is. There's a factory. There's a bunker coming down here as well. Looks like he's afraid of any kind of aggression coming up at the front. That cloud has started up. But anyway, this Reaper not getting much done. The SCV that was trying to block the third base, I guess, is just going to go on home. The Lings are going to come down the ramp here and push away this Reaper even more. That's pretty much going to be it for the Reaper for now. On the side of the map, however, there is Stim finally starting up. There is a bunker going down. I guess he's afraid of a little bit more of aggression coming out of Economy, but I think Economy is looking like he's going to play more of a macro-based style because he doesn't really have too much going on. There is a Bangling Nest on the way. So it is going to be that Ling Bling Buta. As these Zerglings are just going to make their way across the map, it looks like we are going to see an Overlord drop, however. Waiting for these Banelings to start morphing up here. Evo Chamber is about halfway done, so it will be a little bit delayed, but it should get some pretty good economic damage done if it does not get spotted. As he did throw the bunker down at the front, he's not going to expect it to come in from behind here. Now, there's not that many SCVs here. There's there's 4 SCVs mining here, so I'm a little curious as to what he plans to accomplish with this drop. Banners are going to finish up. The Overlord is done. There's no Overlord speed with this just yet. It is about halfway done. It's actually going to finish right now. The speed has finished up. Just going to drop these down here. These Banelings are going to just walk on up in here, and SCVs have been pulled off the line. As our Hellions here to try and get one of these up, he's just going to walk them right into the main. He's not going to get anything with his detonation. This one Baneling has gone down already. Just detonate, see what he can get. He's not getting anything out. He got 2 SCVs for 4 Banelings. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Reaper does get picked off finally. He got a 3rd SCV. But other than that, it's about all he's getting out of this. He will take a 3rd base behind this, as Terran has bunkered down quite a bit. Supply depot going down in here to supply that vision. So we're finally just going to float on out of here. If you get in position to block base, or at least... Alright, so we have another drop coming. 4 more lings are on the way across the map. Alright, I just don't think he's going to get much out of this unless he drops it right on top of the mineral line. Because, again, as we saw last time, he just pulled the SCVs and was able to clean up all the banelings like it was nothing. Even on the other side of the map, he does have a 3rd hatchery down. Roachborn is on the way, so he is going to get away from that Ling Bling Muta style. Okay, is he just not getting a lair? Yeah, he's just not getting his lair. Yeah, his lair is actually late because of this. Armory on the way, however. Just now finishing up for Drunken Furies. Looks like he's going to get into that Hellbat play to tank for these banelings. Economy is going to dodge around the outside. He does not see the Overlord. He will see it now, however, as it is going to float on in here. SCVs are not getting pulled just yet, as he is getting right on top of here. Which is, how will he react? He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. The drop is about to happen. As 7 SCVs have gone down for the first 2 banelings. So Overlord is going to make his way right on top of the next mineral line here. Second one coming in from the other side as 12 SCVs have died to 4 banelings. That was a much better play this time around for that. Meanwhile, the push on the other side of the map, however, is Economy ready. He did some economic damage to the Economy. As these Zerglings are going to top of these Hellions and are going to clean them all up. Should get the last one as well, so there will not be many Hellbats in this. There should be 1 Hellbat. This push. He just needs to play on creep at this point. He's going to stem up in here. He's going to surround this army very well with these Zerglings. Pickup is going to get out of here. He is going to lose a few Marines there. About 4 Marines out of that. 3rd base is being taken for our Terran player. As Economy is once again going to spread his army back out, get ready for a drop that he thought was coming on the other side of the map, which might actually still be coming. As yes, okay, drop is going to head down to the south here and try and get on top of this natural. But there is a Spore and Lings here with a Queen already in place. As his Roaches are going to push on out across the map. Is there any tanks back on for him? Nah, there's no tanks just yet. Tech Lab is just now finishing up for this factory, actually. Drop is good to come in here into the south. Lings are already in place. The Queen is here to start trying to push this away. And he's just going to say, nah, this isn't worth it. I'm going to head on home. As meanwhile, Economy is about to push on up into the 3rd base here of our Terran player. Going to jump right on top of this army. He can clean this up very quickly. Hellbat's going to fall. Marines are going to fall. He's going to get to work on this 3rd base. He should cancel this orbital. There's the lift. Very nice play so far. And the drop is on his way home. That's about it for army until everything else gets here. It looks like he's just going to push on up this ramp. Tank is just now starting. First depot is going to get picked off. Try and get it right in here. It's amazing that that reactor actually blocks that. He's knocked down the wall. He's pushing right on up in here. But where's the Ling? He needs some Lings in this mix. He needs to reinforce this with something else other than all these Roaches. As the army will come in here, the Concave is just a little bit too big for Terran. I do believe Tank is about to finish up. Tank going to get rallied out. Tank is going to siege up. He's getting some damage done. He gets some damage done. He knocked down the wall. Bryant needs to find some economic damage at this rate. Okay, he finally gets on top of these SCVs. Picks off 5 of them so far. 6 of them. Trying to get as many more as he can here. Brings up 6 SCVs for that. He does get to cancel on the orbital and lifts the 3rd base of Terra. So all in all, a very good push for Economy as 12 more Roaches are on the way. +1 ground attack is just now starting up for Drunken Furies. However, he did expand behind this, so Economy is going to be on equal base count. As Terran looks like he just says, enough's enough, I'm going to push on out here and try and do what I can here. His 4 Banelings are on the way. Ravagers are going to get made here to help knock down these tanks, knock down this bio. What's the unit count right now? How many Roaches does he have? He's 19 Roaches and 4 Banelings. Meanwhile, a drop is going to come in here with these 4 Banelings and try and get even more economic damage done. Roaches are in position. There's only 1 tank in this mix, so it shouldn't do too much damage if he can get rid of it quick. Because the tank has to siege. Looks like is what he's waiting on. Corrosive Bile going to land on top of these tanks. The tank is going to get taken out. He's just going to head on home. Terran realizes this push isn't going to get anywhere without a good, decent tank count. As 13 more Roaches are on the way. He's taking his 4th base. Zerg is taking his 4th base up to the north here. And it looks like he realizes this. He's going to make his way around. He didn't see the 4th near his base. The only base thing that Zerg loves more than an actual 4th base is a 4th base. It is gold. As this is almost done, we should see a cancel on this 4th base, however. There we go. That once again evens up the base count. 3 to 3. Our Zerg army is growing bigger slowly as another Baneling drop has happened on the other side of the map. Oh, they bunched up. They bunched up. As he's going to pick up one more. One more Baneling. Come on. Drop it. Drop it. Nice. There you go. That's what you're going to get. 10 SCVs have gone down. Yet to get for 4 Banelings. As the army has been brought back to clean up this one Overlord. So economy is buying himself time. Buying himself a lot of time. The worker count is heavily in favor of economy. His army count is heavily in favor of him as well. Upgrades is just +1 ground for tearing. His tanks have +1 attack, and we don't see a crazy tank count just yet. We have 3 tanks on the map. The question is now, which way does economy go? He's on lair. He has 2 macro hatches here. Finally getting his +2 air or +2 range out. It looks like he says, okay, I'm going to take my 4th base down here close to this time so I can defend it. A lot of Ravagers being morphed. He's going to move up here to this tower just so he can defend it. Make sure nothing can see it. Taking his 5th base as well at the gold. So the question is, when does economy make his play? He got a lot of lings with this army to soak up these tank shots. And it looks like he is finally just saying, okay, I'm going to push out. I'm going to see what damage I can find. Is there a Nydus network? You going to try and Nydus over this? I guess he's just looking for a 3rd base. He is going to move his way down here. If he just waits a second for this army to go away and move out across the map, that's pretty much game because he can just walk in here and destroy the base. But looks like he's going to be able to catch this army out of position. There's just too much Zerg here. These tanks are going to siege up. This Curse of Battle is going to land all over them. And GG will be called here very quickly as our Terran player has just died. And Insight Gaming will take the lead 2-1 in the series. And we will be right back with the first Masters player for PSISTM Gaming. Or PSISTM Community, I apologize. Alright guys, we are back once more with our next matchup in the Insight Gaming versus PSISTM Community matchup. Spawning into the top right hand corner. Currently making the series 2-1. Is the blue Zerg pieces of Economy. As we saw him doing some crazy economy damage to the economy of our last turn player. Spawning into the bottom left hand corner is the red Protoss pieces from the PSISTM Community. Shinobu. Shinobu has picked the map Mojo Gardens. He's going to wall off the low ground here. Make sure his natural can be nice and safe. Probe is going to make his way across the map here to make sure there's nothing crazy cheeky going on here for economy. Who is again opening up pool first. Honestly, I don't blame him. As a Zerg fan, pool first is my preferred method. Probius here is just going to head on home now. After he realizes there's nothing here, he's going to come down here actually and block the natural. Wonder if it's going to be a pylon block or if he's just going to park it here or patrol here. For now, it looks like he's making sure there's no third base or didn't expose somewhere else. That's going to leave economy here to be able to take his natural. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Nexus will be going down here for our Protoss player. Cybernex core not going down just yet. Should be going down here right about now. Another probe is actually going to make his way out on the map. Rather interesting idea to see this. Trying to make sure economy can't sneak anything in on him. We're going to come in here once again to see that this colony pool is done. Queen is on the way. Will make his way south here, make sure there's nothing going on. Economy doesn't know exactly what is going on just yet. We will see a pylon being dropped here in the corner. Provide that vision. Things pop out here are going to pick off poor Probius. So first blood going to economy as the probe has died. The wall off will be finished up here with a zealot and a pylon. So we have a full off down here for our Protoss player. And nothing else really going on just yet. Nexus says finish up. No spawning, no, is there Stargate yet? No Robo. And these things are going to come up here and poke around and see what they can find, and they shouldn't be able to get anything done. He's not even going to waste time. Just going to head down here to the south. Question is it going to be a similar play? As there's only 4 banelings down here. Lord is going to see that there is a pylon here. I wonder if he's going to try it. He might actually try. It's the Stargate finally coming down. There is the baneling nest. Should see an Evo chamber follow up immediately after. As 6 more lings are being made. Unless he's not going to baneling drop. Looks like he might actually just be... Nah, he should be baneling dropping here. Wouldn't get a baneling nest unless you're going to bane bust the front door. That's always an option. Plenty of adepts here. Adept is actually going to shade out on the map. Head is make her way across the map to the natural of our Zerg player as he does go ahead and take his third base. Tommy, you're going to take over this watchtower and make sure nothing can come in through here. Shinobu realizes there's no 4th base down here, or no 3rd base in the south, so he must realize it's going to be on the other side of the map. As he will shade on across the map here, and he will see that there is indeed a 3rd base. Get started poking on that. The economy will now know that there is an adept out on the map. Queen is going to come out here to poke at it, get it out of here. To get off my lawn, get away from my babies. We'll just shade in on top of this mineral line here. Drones are actually, he's going to pull all the drones. Got to keep them safe. This adept will fall before the shade finishes. Nothing really crazy getting done here for that adept. Adept's more or less a scout. He knows that there is a 3rd base out for our Protoss player. As there is a Oracle on the way. Questions, did the economy know about the Stargate? I don't think he knew about the Stargate. There's only a queen here, as there looks like the baneling bus will go through. No overcharge being thrown down just yet. He's just going to make his way straight on up into the main of our Protoss player. Probes are going to get pulled as the economy is going to start trying to find as much damage as he can. 2 probes falling already. A 3rd, and the adept will get ignored as the probes are just going to get chased right back down into the natural. Oracle being forced to come home to help clean this up. He's actually morphing banelings in the corner of our Protoss player's base. 6 probes have fallen so far, and he is going to rally them up. Oh, this is beautiful. If this connects, This is going to be huge, as these Banelings are going to roll right into the probe line, and the detonation will get all of them. 16 probes going down here. Not quite all of them, but definitely worth the time that took to Baneling bust that and get in there and find what damage he could. Which is going to put our Protoss player behind the workers, 38-29. However, the army supply here, greatly in favor of our Protoss player. I think he blocked himself in. Did he block himself in? No, okay. On the other side of the map, Economy is going to get 6 Spine Crawlers. Or forget here. He doesn't have a Spore. Okay, he did build a Spore. The Spore to main. Spore there. He's just... At this point, he's turtling up saying, I did good damage there. I gotta make sure I don't lose anything on my side of the map at this point in time. As this Oracle is going to get poked down here a bit by these Queens. He isn't going to be able to find much. He's actually going to fly out right over top of this Spore Crawler, and that... Woo! Actually, there, he has no room to maneuver here with this Oracle, really. He does sneak it out the back, so it does stay alive. Utay's probes another day. Meanwhile, however, there is a player finally on the way for Economy. Economy going to come down here and try and get the cancel on this third base. Void Rays and these Adepts should be able to clean this up beforehand, however. It's actually going to be close. He might actually have to cancel this. Stay focused on it and you'll get it. Oh, he's moved. He moved. The A move. That command move on the Zerglings there actually cost him that. He could have got it had he just let them go. There's no reason to micro those Lings. More Adepts are going to join the mix. Oh, hey, Jakku. Welcome to the stream, good buddy. Anyway, his Warlings are going to make their way to the front door of our Protoss player here, try to find what he can. Looks like he's going to come back down here and get to work on this Nexus. This time, however, Mothership Core is here. Photon Overcharge, 2 of them being thrown down. We'll push these things away. But that is a very battered and bruised Nexus. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, this Oracle is just going to throw down a Revelation. See exactly what he can see on both bases. Not really seeing too much here, just tagging bases. Surprised Economy has yet to expand behind us again. He's being very aggressive with Lings at the moment. I wonder if he's planning to take a 4th. Should be a 4th base down by now if there was. We are seeing a Hydralisk Den come out though. The first few Hydras are on the way. Mothership Core being morphed into that dreaded Mothership. Question is, he should see this. He should know. We should see a lot of detection coming out here very quick. As the Hydralisk upgrade is on the way. Need that range and that speed. Yep, just going to shade in here and see that there is indeed some Hydralisk here. And other than that, not going to get very far. The Sky Toss is on the way, folks. First carriers are on the way. Interceptor speed about halfway finished. As Economy going to realize he needs something to deal with this because this gets out of hand. We are already coming up on the first carrier count. As we know, critical mass of carriers is basically 3 carriers at any point in time that you're getting out of hand already. And against all of 12 Hydralisks, I don't think that's going to be anywhere near enough to take this down. As this will be a very big push. There's some Adepts in the mix. Mothership has finished up. The Economy is finally going to take his 4th base to the north. Other than that, there's Interceptor's done. +1 air attack is on the way. And +1/1 is starting up for Economy. But the question is, when does Protoss decide to move out? That is the real question, because how many carriers is he going to wait for? 6? Yeah, it looks like he's going to wait for the 6 carriers to group up. He's going to make his way across the map, which is giving Economy time. As he morphs a lot of Banelings. I don't think it's going to work unless your Queens plan on throwing them at them carriers. Because the carriers are the big beef of this army. Adepts are one thing, but there isn't really that many Adepts here. It's all carriers and a Mothership. Which is a very bulky army, so it's not going to be very mobile, but once you're to A-clicks that map, it's going to be a lot of problem for our Zerg player. 4th base is going to be taken to the north as well for our Protoss player. Giving up that base count once again. This is what really is going to be the real question, is exactly how does economy deal with this? We don't really see anything. There's actually a Nydus on the way. I guess that's one way of dealing with it. Getting some overseers in the mix is also another good idea, as a macro hatch will be taken. I'm actually rather curious to see exactly how he plans to deal with this by using a Nydus, because I guess he's going to wait for the army to be out across the map and just Nydus into his base somewhere. Which is actually a crazy idea, as he will be rallying his army up into this Nydus for him. The question is where does he plan on dropping this Nydus? Because he's got 2 locations he can drop it very easily, but they're all so far away. That's the real question, is where does he drop the Nydus? 5th base for economy is going to be taken in the north. Other than that, there's still nothing really crazy going on just yet. As 14 more Hydras are on the way, everything is loading up in this Nydus form finally. Overseer is going to make his way into the main base of our Zerg player, or Protoss player, but again, the army positioning here is actually going to be able to knock this down very quick. So he will actually be dropping another Nydus to the north by the looks of it. As the economy has to find a way to break this before this carrier count reaches a crazy amount. He's ahead on workers, yes, but army supply, however, says otherwise. As the first of the Nydus forms will be spotted. This may not work the way he favors, as his first Nydus form is just going to get knocked down incredibly quick. Nothing even popping out, and oh my god, it didn't even do anything. It just died. Depth here, I guess, was here to block this 5th base, as you realize there is no 5th base here or 4th base here. The economy did take it to the north. At which point does our Protoss player move out? Because at this point, I think he's got a critical amount that he can move out with and be perfectly fine. Actually, what is the adept count? That's a question here. There's 16 adepts in this army and 1 zealot. And the bulk of your army is Hydralists. Protoss has really got this kind of countered, as we do know adepts and Hydras can trade against each other very effectively. As Banelings are going to roll in here, and they aren't really going to get anything for their bangings. They're just going to have to roll on home and find something else on the map to roll into. As on the other side of the map, there are a bunch of cannons here that will pretty much clean these up before they get anything. The economy is starting to sweat. You can see it. Just throwing away some Banelings there, trying to find damage, free up that supply. Try and get some more Hydras out, as Aspire has finally been dropped. We'll be finishing up very here shortly. For them Corruptors, I would assume. If both players are just playing that macro game, trying to max out, reach that critical amount of army to deal with anything here. As we see, the army supply is still heavily in favor of our Protoss player. The Storm is actually on the way as well. Adding into the Storm to deal with this ground army, so High Templar are here. And sooner or later, he's just going to have to move out. Like, the economy needs to find some damage, as he's just dealing with these little pokes and prods as minerals, as economy on the other side of the map. He's going to put his army completely out of place if Protoss decide to move out here, as he is going to take a 6th base to the south. He's just growing slowly into a bigger army. A bigger economy. But again, as Protoss, as we see, is just sitting on this crazy golden armada, so to speak. And not really anything else really going on at all. Main base is mined out, however, as we do see more gateways being added on. Spire, a 2nd Spire is on the way. Trying to get them upgrades caught up. He's actually getting, he's getting neural, folks. He's going to use the Effectors to take over the army. That is one way of dealing with it. Personally, I still think Vipers are a good idea for this type of composition. As once from that mothership does die, or you can even throw the Viper parasitic bomb on top of that mothership. Either way. His economy is looking like he's posturing over here. He just picked off a pylon. He looks like he is posturing. The army has been moved. There is a base in the south. Man, look at all these cannons. They're crazy. Both these players' banks are through the roof. We got 6k for economy right now. Up to 7 now. So when does he start adding on the Corruptors? As we will see 3-3. There are the Vipers. Looks like he is actually going to go for the Parasitic Bomb instead. Are there any infestors in this mix yet? There's no infestors. Take a look at our upgrades real quick. As we will see, 2-2 is in favor of our Zerg player, as it looks like Protoss has finally said, I'm ready to move out across the map here as the first engagement of these two armies should happen very shortly here. Creep terms are going to get cleaned up beforehand, as it looks like he is just going to head up here to the north and start knocking away these bases of economy, as these are very exposed right now. As first few Vipers are going to come in here. Feedbacks on the Vipers, however. I'm just going to melt these Vipers real quick because they were full energy Vipers, as 15 drones will die. As the Golden Armada makes its way to the south, this third base is going to get knocked down very quick. As the army comes in, storms raining all over this Zerg army. And that is it already. GG is called. All that build up for one fight, it just ended in a couple seconds. Anyway, next game will be here shortly, folks, as we get our first Masters player for Insight Gaming. Alright guys, welcome back once again to our next matchup for the Insight Gaming PSISTM Community matchup. Score is now tied 2-2 as we have reached our Masters level players. We're going to get right into it. Spawning into the bottom left hand corner of Verdura Temple is the blue Protoss pieces of Shinobu from PSISTM Community. Spawning into the top right hand corner is the red Terran pieces of Insight Gaming, looking to take the series 3-2. It's still a Fox. Finally getting to see some variations in these matchups tonight, as a lot of it has been TVZ. We had a ZVP just a few seconds ago. As we saw, it just kind of ended in a very anticlimactic fight. But other than that, we'll wait to see what these two players have to offer here, as both players look like they're opening pretty standard so far. Pylon Gateway going down up here for our Terran or a Protoss player, and on the other side of the map, our Terran player is going to be going down into that what looks like Reaper Expo. As the first SCV is heading out on the map, he's heading out towards Scout and see what he can find. Interesting pathing on this map, as both workers will actually just path right by each other. Probe's going to get his way on up in here. Looks like he's going to catch his SCV. Might be able to pick it off. Nah, he's just going to ignore it, keep going. Going to realize it's just a standard opening so far with the Reapers. Next is finally going to get tossed down first. So he looks like he's going to expand before our Terran player. SCV coming down here is going to get blocked by this probe. The SCV is just making his way around in the main base of our Protoss player. You see there is a Cybernetic score on the way, and the second gas should be taken. He will see that, yes. Probe getting shooed away so he can finally take his command center. Next is will be done first, however, as a factory follow-up is next. I'm a little curious as to which way Still a Fox will go with this. I wonder if he's going to go into a more of a Widow Mine play, or if he's going to go into just like a standard drop style play. See exactly what he can get out of this. This is our Steve at SCV will make his way home. Reaper is making his way around to the north side of the map to make sure there are no proxies out this way before he heads towards the main of our Protoss player. Terran's going to wall off, and it looks like he is just going to get a reactor with this. I think he is going to go into more of that Marine style play, possibly Willow Mine drop here, a few Marines and Willow Mine. Be a starport next. Eventually, anyway, there it goes. Starport finally getting dropped there. Widow Mine on the way, 2 Marines on the way. So yes, we will see a Widow Mine play coming out here for our Protoss play or Terran player. God, getting everything confused at this point. As we will see a robotics facility coming down, so you will be able to have an observer out to see this and deal with this drop. As Reaper's going to make his way in here. The depth's going to push him away very easily. Not getting to scout on this at all, as Reaper's is going to make his way on home. One Widow Mine out already. I think it is going to be rallied over to the gas as it was. To be burrowed in case that Oracle comes in here, as there is no Oracle coming out just yet. We have Robo Observer on the way. Both players do have their mains up. As Reaper is once away, getting pushed away. He's not getting anything for his trouble, just buying himself some time, you know, being annoying, being what a Reaper does. But what he really needs to do is get up in the main base with this Reaper. If there is a robotics facility here and not a Stargate or anything. Do have a bit of lag. It is sugar. And on the other side of that, 2 barracks are going to get thrown down. This Reaper does finally manage to find his way in, and you will see exactly what our Protoss player has up his sleeve for our Terran fanboy here. There's a Warp Prism on the way. Observer is out, Warp Prism has gone down. So this drop coming out may not get much out of this. He does immediately go into... Actually, what happened to a drop? I figured he would have gone into a drop, actually. Got here. No tech lab. Gotta get stim somehow. Okay, so he's just going to get into a pretty standard play. Assuming he is going up against Adept Phoenix, which he is not. There's actually disruptors coming out of this. Did he actually see the robotics with Ability or Bay? No, he didn't. Didn't see it at all. So he will not know that there is actually disruptor tech in play this time around. And not Colossus. So he's already teching into that late game composition to deal with Colossi. And he won't be dealing with Colossi. There will be a tank here to help push this away, which is actually very helpful. Tanks against disruptors are very key, as they can take at least one disruptor hit before they do go down. +1 attack is on the way for our Terran player. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Colossi is on the way out, so there will be Colossi. One Colossus so far. Thermal Lance is on the way. But no Forge as of yet, so it looks like we'll be behind on upgrades in this. Right now, Toss is actually very vulnerable if he can find some damage on the map here, our Terran player. Because there is a Warp Prism here, Disruptor drop. Not getting much done. Good heads up play there by Still a Fox as he is going to make his way around here. Ooh! Oh, it was so key to see that Widow Mine take that out. Disruptor shot is going to whiff. Viking here will be able to chase down this Warp Prism with... That has Warp Prism speed actually, so... Able to get away very easily. Still a Fox being very cunning, being able to keep up with that and make sure there isn't anything there coming in. This probe is going to get picked off by this one Marine Billy down here. Going ham, getting that probe. As you're going to walk right back into this Colossus and Stalkers and go, oh man, my life is going so well with that one probe. At least Terry knows that there is a third base here. He should have a third base on the way as well. Staying on 2 base a little bit longer. Moving down 2 more barracks. Upgrades are in favor of him right now with +1 attack and combat shield. However, Warp Prism speed. Disruptor drop getting ready to come down here again. Looks like he's getting ready to throw it right in on top here. He should pick off a Widow Mine. Free Widow Mine was free. Viking not even going to twitch. He's going to actually move out across the map by the looks of it. Getting annoyed with his Warp Prism being out. There's actually a drop coming into here to the north. Widow Mines are going to unload here and burrow. No reaction from our Protoss player as these Widow Mines are going to get shots off. And only pick up 6 probes. No real target fire from that second Widow Mine. The cannon is going to get thrown down as the Forge has finally been thrown down with +1 and Resonating Glaives on the way. Meanwhile, Terran is looking to move out across the map. He did pick up 6 workers for his trouble. Army supply and worker count is actually in favor of him right now. Or his favor is still a Fox. Edevac is just going to head on home by the looks of it. Not really joining up with the rest of the army. As the third base is being taken, looks like he's actually going to bring some army up here to defend this, just in case a Warp Prism or something comes up this way. The rest of his army is going to head down to the south to this third base of this Protoss player, where the entire army of the Protoss player is actually waiting for this army to just walk right into him. Actually not a good situation for him to be in. Realize you just pick up and leave. Get out of here. As these Widow Mines are going to get 1 shot off so far, and that's going to be about it. The second one will go off. But losing tank and a handful of Marines is not the best way to start this off, as he is able to get a drop into the main of our Protoss player, but this will get picked off. If they're focusing down a cannon as the photon overcharges will throw him down there. That right there is why cannons are so scary when it comes to drops. Meanwhile, this feeble little Terran army is looking like he is going to make his way south again against 3 Colossi, trying to find some damage where he can. But meanwhile, this Protoss army is actually a little bit more technical, a little bit more powerful in a sense. As he is looking like he's going to rally right in here. He's going to pick off... That get 1 Colossus so far. Widow Mine is going to burrow, and not getting focused down. It will die before he gets a shot off, as the second Widow Mine will get a shot off. Pick off a handful of steps there. As Terran is forced to retreat once again. At this point in time, Terran just needs to tech into Ghost, or tech in or get more Vikings out, get that Viking count up. And you should be able to eventually just steamroll this army, as there's only 2 Colossus here, but +2 is on the way for our Protoss player. With a another Disruptor on the way as well. 4th base finally going to be taken down here to the south. We will see a couple medevacs head out here at the big drop. Bunch of Marauders and Marines in that. Come on, scan. Just scan. Let's just see this observer get picked off right now with the scan. Cheeky scan. As you will be heading into the north part of this base yet again. There's a buzzer coil here with at least enough for 2 shots. A photon overcharge as it will move into position. And once again, it looks like he's moving into the south here, trying to push into this base. Runs right into the Protoss army, as 2 adepts are going to make their way into the north. The stem in here, Widowmine is going to get burrowed. Thanks for the follow, Drunken Furies. Thanks for the follow. These Marauders are tucked in here very tightly, as these pylons are going to get not cleaned up. He actually is going to have to leave here, but the probe, or mine did get 5 probes out of that. Don't know if the job is actually worth it, but he did get some economic damage done. Way ahead by 2 workers, but again, it's going down to this right here. This Protoss army is getting way too big yet again. As he's not getting any ghosts or anything. He doesn't have the Viking count up by the looks of it to deal with this. How many Vikings does he have exactly? He has 6 Vikings. That's nowhere near enough to knock down this Colossus ball. With this many Stalkers in the mix, that's nowhere near enough. Plus the Disruptor shot. One good Disruptor shot will actually clean this up very easily. As this Marine is heading back down to the south here again, trying to figure out where that Protoss army is. As it looks like Toss is finally saying, alright, I have +2 attack. Go attack. As he's making his way across the map, this is a big Protoss ball. Disruptor in the mix, couple Colossus. As Terran will move out here, he's going to lose all these Vikings trying to knock down the Colossus. As 3 will die, 4 will die. Vikings so far have died. He does catch his Protoss army, but blink forward in the heartbeat. Catching this little bit of Terran army out of place here. As the rest of the Terran army is going to have to make his way back. There are no more Vikings in the mix to knock this down, however. As there's actually some units loaded up in the medevac. His first Disruptor shot is going to come out, trying to split as best as he can. SCVs have to pull offline, and GG will be called. Now, as far as I know, I don't believe Insight Gaming has another Masters player that they can bring in here. Unless one came on during that match. Yeah, clearly. Apparently Insight Gaming does not have another Masters player, so the final score will end up being 4-2 in favor of Psystorm Gaming. And with that, folks, I will wind up calling this very quickly. I just want to say thanks to everybody who played tonight. Congrats to Psystorm Gaming. Psystorm Community. I was getting really back and forth here. It's going to be all ogre. Apologize to Psystorm Community for not having a 4th player lined up. I was really hoping we would, but we will not have our ace, as he is apparently having some real life issues and, you know, helping people out. As well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the follows. If you guys do me a follow, and next week, 9:30 p.m., I'm going to try and set this up and make sure I have everybody here. And with that, guys, I'm going to call it. I hope you guys have a good weekend. And thanks for tuning in for the matches you saw. Y'all have a good night.